This podcast is brought to you by Reynolds and Reynolds, the industry leader in automotive technology. Learn how Spark AI, Reynolds' unified AI data layer, can help you unlock your full potential by visiting rey.com/spark-AI. That's REY.com/spark-AI.
Welcome to this weekend drive edition of Daily Drive for the final week of January 2026. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. We're breaking down some of the biggest stories in the auto industry from the past week and looking forward to what's in store in the days ahead. Joining me today are Larry Vellequette, who covers Toyota, Mazda, and Subaru for us at Automotive News. Larry Legend, always good to have you.
Kel, it's great to be here. I finally figured out why you call me Larry Legend. It's because I'm a crap talker, right? Just like Larry Bird.
Yes. You finally put it together.
I finally figured it out.
Finally put it together.
Finally figured it out.
And Michael Martinez, who covers Ford and the UAW for Automotive News. Mike, welcome back to Weekend Drive.
Thanks for having me. I just hope I never see Larry in those 1980s NBA shorts.
Yeah. I don't know if them shorts are holding all that in. All right, before we get into this week's news, Mike, is there anything from your beat that caught your attention this week?
Yeah, Kel, on the Ford beat, they announced this week that they're forming Ford Energy, a new business unit, and that Lisa Drake, a longtime executive, is handling that. It's all part of their pivot away from EV batteries to energy storage system batteries. They built a bunch of battery plants, and now the EV demand isn't there, so they're pivoting. We'll talk in a bit, I think, about Tesla kind of pivoting its business. Sort of interesting here from Ford. We'll see what happens as it evolves, but they certainly have an accomplished executive running it.
Nice. And Larry, same question for you. Anything worth highlighting before we jump in?
Only this. Toyota finished its calendar year, not its fiscal year. Once again, the world's largest automaker by a lot. Number 2, Volkswagen. That delta grew a little bit. And then with Hyundai is number 3. And they're just kicking it on all cylinders globally. Just hard to knock, unqualified global success.
Does a bubble like that ever pop?
Yeah. Certainly it does. But in order to pop, you really have to trip first, right? You got to do something wrong. And so far, there's an adage in this business, right? You will go broke betting against Toyota.
Damn. Well,
yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, damn. All right. Well, let's start with Tesla. Elon Musk announced this week that Tesla is ending production of the Model S and Model X next quarter to convert the Fremont factory space into an Optimus humanoid robot assembly line. Mike, what's your reaction to this?
Well, Cal, I kind of have some competing emotions here, or thoughts, I guess, maybe not emotions. But on one hand, I think it's completely reasonable to get rid of the S and X. They're selling horribly. Their time has sort of passed. And we can talk a bit. They were landmark products that will be remembered in automotive history, particularly the S, for getting everybody else to think seriously about EVs. But on the other hand, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because I get that Tesla is trying to pivot to become an AI company and a robotics company, but I just don't know that you can bank on the Optimus robot being so successful that you'll need millions and millions of units per year and all that factory space in Fremont. So I understand getting rid of the products, but I'm not sure I really get that robot strategy moving forward.
Can I just say that the S, for all of my Tesla biases, let's put it that way, my thoughts on Tesla, the S, was a damn sexy car. Yeah. And really was. When it came out, there was nothing that looked like it. It was really just phenomenal and complete white space in the market. They took a big chance, a big swing coming off the Roadster with the S, and it just came in and kicked ass. But it's, like everything in this industry, you have to keep reinventing yourself, and they stopped doing that with the S. And I'm going to say that the X was a miss altogether. I think it died the minute they put those gull wing doors on the back. But the S was really spectacular when it came out. They just stopped investing in it. And anytime an automaker stops investing in something, that's when trouble starts.
Right.
Well, Larry, I'm not even sure that they needed to continue investing in it because they continued to evolve just with other products, right? The 3 was even more of a smash hit than the S when it first came out. And that was really where Tesla wanted to make its money, on the lower end of the market, once those early adopters all picked up the S and X. So, did they need to keep evolving it? Could they have kept it around longer? Sure, but I'm not necessarily sure they wanted to, because they had those other products. But, at the same time, they had some misses too. Like, we'll probably mention the Cybertruck, or in that same category as the S and X. Like, it's not selling well. Why keep it around? But they did continue to evolve, just in different ways.
Yeah. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, I would have given the Ziggy to the Cybertruck before I would have given it to the S. But I get your point.
I have a question, guys. Because of Elon being such a polarizing figure and being the face of that brand, and when you see the T, you think of Elon. Do you think if, him getting into politics, all the Twitter stuff, just all the noise that surrounded Elon, if none of that would have happened, would we still be having this same conversation right now?
I'd like to think yes. I think you can argue that he's lost sales because a lot of people have been turned off to what he's done. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's made new customers. He's probably tapped into a lot of conservatives or Republicans that wouldn't otherwise consider an EV, if we're being honest, now that he's made his politics known. So for everything he's lost, he's probably gained some. So I don't know if it would net out just to be neutral at the end of the day, but I think the underlying business factors remain the same. So we would still be talking about this. And I think he still would be pushing the company into that robotics AI space. So we would still, have this announcement.
As we said, the Model S launched in 2012. It puts Tesla on the map. What does this signal about Tesla's identity going forward?
I've been trying to figure out Tesla's identity for years, right? And the one thing I can say is I don't think you're going to know what Tesla's identity is by Elon Musk telling you what it is. All the products that we are still waiting for, that are how many years old and never delivered. I think if you look at what it is just by its products that's on sale now, there's a big player in what is now a niche market, right? Mm-hmm. And a niche market that is under real stress because of the Chinese globally. I mean, look at what's going on in Europe, and what's coming to Tesla and why they're suddenly pivoting to humanoid robots, right? I think with Tesla, it's all about the stock price. It's always been about the stock price.
But isn't that everybody though, Larry? Isn't everybody about the stock price though?
Well, yeah, they're all about the stock price. And that goes, and I got to tell you, that goes back, that really feeds my my distrust of the stock market in general to begin with, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to the stock market, if you design cars for the stock market, you deserve what happens to you, whatever happens to
you. Well, guys, real quick, let's talk about Hyundai. So the company is getting rid of the Santa Cruz compact pickup just after one generation. Sales plunged 20% last year to 25,500 units, outsold 6-1 by Ford's Maverick. Mike Edmonds, Ivan Drury said a Hyundai, quote, pushed too far in the direction of oddity versus conformity. Is that fair, or was it just bad timing in a tough market?
Well, I don't know if the market's all that tough given the Maverick's performance. So don't count me as somebody who will go against what Ivan Drury says. He's a smart guy. I think the Santa Cruz's issue was they tried to get too quirky in a weird way, whereas the Maverick was quirky in a useful way, right? Ford really tried to tap into the young, hip, city-dwelling DIYers, people that liked to mess with their vehicles when they needed to go to Home Depot and get, some 2x4s or some mulch or whatever. So, they had a lot of useful stuff in that Maverick that you could even add yourself. They just left the space for you. Larry can speak to it. The slots in the bed, the different areas where you could kind of build your own cages or partitions, and on the inside you could lift up the back seats and lock and store things, even I think like a soccer ball or a basketball if you're traveling with kids for sports. So I think Ford did an excellent job really catering to the kind of customers that want that kind of product, whereas Hyundai maybe didn't do that as well.
Larry, you own one of these things. Hold on, before you say anything. Larry, you own one of these things. Okay, first off, I want to know what your reaction is to this, and what were you really putting in that flatbed? Because that flatbed is probably the size of my desk. It is not big at all.
It is not big. Now, to be clear, when I want to address your pronoun, I own a Maverick. I don't own a Santa Cruz.
Oh, that's true. You own a Maverick. That's right. You own a Maverick. My bad.
Yeah, I own a Maverick. And I got to tell you, I love it. I have a hybrid Maverick, and for what I need, it's perfect. As far as the Santa Cruz goes, I get the decision because it was a miss coming out of the gate. I don't know how you say, okay, North America is a pickup market. We need a pickup. Let's redo the Subaru Brat. Right? Because that's what the Santa Cruz is, right? It's a Subaru Brat with an extra seat. And that was not a sales success. Let's be honest. Hyundai and Kia have been killing it from a design standpoint for years. They have beautiful products. This was not one of them. This was a rare miss for them, and it is good to see that they're pulling the plug early, rather than try and, let it limp on for a while. Their dealers need something to beat Maverick up with, right? And so far, nobody's found one.
Well, Hyundai is not giving up on trucks, though. They got a larger body-on-frame midsize pickup targeting the Tacoma and Ranger coming in summer 29. Mike, what do you make of that? I think I already know your answer to this. Do you think Ford and Toyota should be worried?
No, I really don't. I mean, at the same time, this is, like Larry said, a big pickup market. The appetite is endless, it seems, for Americans wanting these kinds of vehicles. So could they have some success? Could they steal some share? Sure. But you look at Ford specifically, they're going to be adding more trucks to their lineup. We have a new midsize EV coming that's probably going to be more like Maverick size and Ranger, so maybe that wouldn't be a good comparison. But they said there's going to be a new gas-powered nameplate, truck nameplate that's not in the lineup already. Don't know what size that's going to be. So, Ford knows how to do trucks. I don't think anybody will argue that point. So are they scared? Probably not. At the same time, could Hyundai find a lane for some success? Sure.
You know what? Can I say something here? I know normally I just sit here like a wallflower, but I just want to point out there is white space, and we argued this a couple of weeks ago, right? There is white space in the truck market, in the midsize truck market, and that Tacoma is and Ranger I'm eminently familiar with. They have both grown too big. They are full-size trucks from 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right? And there is white space for a small body-on-frame truck, because if there's something, if there's a deficiency with my Maverick, it's because it's unibody, because it's front-wheel drive. Even in the all-wheel drive, it doesn't tow very well. There's room there. There's white space, and nobody has hit it yet.
Interesting. Good stuff, guys. Coming up, we'll preview next week's NADA show here in Las Vegas. What are the biggest issues facing dealers in 2026? And what should we be watching for at the show? That's next on Weekend Drive.
If you're an automotive supplier and you know your team is building the next big thing, prove it on the industry's biggest innovation stage. Automotive News is now accepting applications for the 2026 PACE program. PACE Awards recognize traditional and non-traditional suppliers worldwide for new product, process, and business model innovation, and entries must be innovations already commercialized through a sale to an automaker. Still pre-commercial but past the pilot stage? PACE Pilot recognizes post-pilot, pre-commercial innovations across automotive and future mobility, products, software, IT systems, and processes with the potential to revolutionize an automaker's business. All submissions are reviewed by an independent panel of judges, and MEMA is the exclusive lead sponsor. Ready to be recognized? Apply by February 9th at autonews.com.
When your AI tools are siloed, lost data, duplicate entries, and confusion are inevitable. Spark AI isn't another AI tool to manage. Instead, it's a unified AI data layer, changing the game by ensuring your solutions are making life easier and working at their highest capacity. Don't miss Spark at NADA. Watch Ray, our new AI assistant, bring everything together in one intuitive command center for smart, fast decision-making. Ray answers your questions at any time, providing instant messaging, insights, help videos, or live support. Instantly analyze your sales history and market trends, or generate a sales report with one prompt. You can even ask which cars to buy at auction today for the best return. Schedule an appointment at our booth for everything from a short demo to a full retail management system demonstration using our core AI products. Visit rayray.com/NADA. That's REYREY.com/NADA.
Welcome back to Weekend Drive. I'm Kellen Walker with Larry Vellequette and Michael Martinez. So guys, you're both heading here to Las Vegas next week for NADA. Let's start with the big picture. Mike, what are you most curious to see or hear at this year's show?
Honestly, maybe this will be a strange answer, but Larry always talks about, in his advice to the younger journalists that haven't covered NADA before, one thing he does say is get a chance to get out and walk the floor. Aside from some other advice I probably can't repeat on the podcast. And I think there's some truth to that. The booths that you see, you'll see the regular stuff year in and year out, the car wash stuff, the helicopter companies for the rich dealers. But I'm particularly interested in walking the show floor and seeing what sort of AI vendors and solutions are there this year and what they're trying to woo the dealers with. I think it could be interesting. I'm sure most of this stuff won't come to fruition, but it could be, I'm curious to see what at least will be out there and what will be pitched to them. So, maybe it's not as much of a newsworthy thing, but I am curious about that.
What's on your radar, Larry?
So AI certainly is. And my big question is, how much of a dealer's business are you willing to turn over to automation? And do you think that's a good strategy? There are companies out there that are now doing, that are selling AI callbacks, right? That are selling AI, AI lead gens, lead returns. A lot of dealers are using AI powered, chats on their websites. But here's my question. If you're in the business of building relationships with consumers, what happens when they come into your showroom and say, hey, did you, where's this person that I talked to? Because they said something interesting. What happens when they say, oh, that person is AI, doesn't exist? What do you say then? Then why am I here? If I don't have a relationship with you, I had a relationship with some bot on the, on the website. It doesn't make any sense to me as a strategy going forward. I think there's a lot of faith put in 2 letters, and dealers better be prepared to pull back fast.
Well, our 2026 Dealer Outlook survey came out this week, showed some pretty striking numbers. 87% of dealers are moderately or extremely concerned about the economic downturn. That's up from 46% last year. Mike, is this going to be the dominant mood at NADA, anxiety about the economy?
I think so. And we saw it a bit last year, worried about what may be coming in terms of tariffs and other things. this year we have a little more certainty on that standpoint, but at the same time, I think a lot of dealers are worried that this is the year automakers will start to pass along the tariff costs even more than they did in 2025, which could drive up prices and could anger those customers who are dealing with AI robots, if not, real people. So I think the retailers are kind of worried about the blowback they may be receiving and the fact that their profits are probably going to continue to trend downward, right? We talked a lot about how they were making money hand over fist during the pandemic, right after the pandemic, even through the chip shortage. And that trend, that arrow has been pointing down for a few years now. It's probably only going to get worse from this point.
And the top 3 dealer concerns are affordability, recession, economic uncertainty, and expenses. Larry, which one of those do you think will drive the most conversation at NADA?
Oh, it's all going to be affordability, right? If affordability is answered, those other things go away, right? Because you've now priced millions of people out of, the industry, right, has priced millions of people out of the new car experience. It's just gone. It's not available to them. That means lower volumes, lower revenues for everybody, lower profitability, lower used car availability. It eventually means job cuts, both at the retail level and at the manufacturing level. You just cut 2-3 million units off the SAR because of pricing, right? This is more than just a crisis. This is something that can really spiral quickly if we don't come up with some answer as an industry to this.
Interesting stuff. NADA next week should be interesting. I'm excited to see both of you. And we'll be doing the show on the floor of NADA next week, Weekend Drive. So that should be really, really good. Especially,
I can't wait for the hecklers.
All 3 of us in person. That's going to be off the rails. Mike, Larry, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Cal.
Cal, awesome to see you, and I can't wait to see you in person again.
It'll be a good time. That's all for this Weekend Drive edition of Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer for his help on today's podcast. You can get the latest news on Tesla's product strategy, NADA coverage, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. Come back on Monday for a closer look at our 2026 Dealer Outlook survey and what it tells us heading into the NADA show here in Las Vegas.
They're not going down without a fight. Dealers think new vehicle profits are probably going to be flat this year or maybe even go down a little. But they also think their stores will still be more profitable than they were last year.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. If you enjoy the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.